Boom. How's it going, guys? Welcome to the Triple Threat podcast. If you're new here, super duper cool to have you. If you have been watching us for quite a while, or whatever it is, thank you so much. We really appreciate you. As you can see, the production is not as awesome as it always looks. My awesome super duper colleague is not available to record this weekend, but he will be back next week. So, yeah, Mark, missing you already, bro. It's really weird doing this without you. And this is totally the first time that I'm recording this. Didn't have an issue the first time. Wasn't recording for 8 minutes before this and it bombed out. So let's see how take 3 goes. Right. I've got something cool planned for you guys today. We had a segment planned. I'm obviously not going to do it without Mike, so we'll do that next week. Today I had such an awesome morning. Just going to keep it a buck with you guys because this isn't like a podcast where we're sort of trying to act professional or whatever. It's kind of just two people who talk and hang out. So I suppose it's now us hanging out. Yeah, it's really weird having to sort of try and re-say all the things I've just been saying for 8 minutes. So, cool. I'm not gonna sort of try and pretend like I hadn't said things. So I'm just gonna keep it back with you and just keep it genuine and be like, yeah, it happens. So if you're somebody that also does a podcast, like we had Sergio on again last week, he does a podcast and we share things where like you just have technical failures and technical issues and all these things. We also don't invest a lot of money into this, so there's no like setup and cool marks. And I know my audio doesn't sound great, but I suppose that way what makes us more grateful for the people who watch and listen. That yeah, thanks for joining and just chilling with us. So yeah, this morning I'm still buzzing, man. It was so awesome. So one of my all-time favorite films growing up, and it's one of my all-time favorite films, but definitely at the time it was definitely my favorite film. That is 1996's Space Jam. So this morning I went to go watch the 30th anniversary release, and in honor of that, I wore my Chicago Bulls shirt. Obviously got Jordan's 23 at the back. For people that have been listening, yes, I'm a Celtics fan. I support every Boston-based sports team. But when it comes to basketball, if I'm anything, I'm a Michael Jordan fan. So he's my guy, he's the dude, and that's that on that. So I'm gonna do like a review of the film, what it was like 30 years later. And my gosh, I was a bit worried because I haven't seen it in a while purposefully. Like my favorite movies, I don't watch often because I want to forget them and I don't want to be too familiar with them, and I want the hits to still hit and things like that. I mean, I just recently rewatched The Town again. That is one of my all-time favorite films, and I haven't seen it in years. And it's so cool because you do start forgetting stuff and you sort of try and recreate that first time experience again. So I never want to get used to my favorite films. I never want to know them by heart. Yeah. Although there are movies that are like, maybe they're not very sentimental or impactful, but they're just so rewatchable that you can just rewatch them over and over again and always enjoy them. Absolutely. But like my favorite films, I don't want to watch often. I like to revisit them every now and then. But yeah, 30 years later, I was thinking, man, I wonder, especially because you're seeing it on the big screen, I was like, I wonder how dated this is gonna look. And honestly, it looks amazing. It hasn't aged, and I mean that sincerely. Like, it looks really good. I mean, if you've seen the film, there's even a moment where like the aliens they grab Michael Jordan and like shape him into a basketball. And then people might think, well, the effects there look kind of weird. Like, why does his face look so goofy? And I'm like, well, because he's in Looney Tune land, so obviously his face is not going to look, it's not going to look, he's just been molded into a basketball. His face is supposed to look weird. So even things like that, man. And yeah, like even how they got Michael Jordan to like shake the alien's hand and Bugs Bunny's like holding Michael, and it's the attention to detail in that film is fascinating. It's a lot of hard work. I mean, I'm not going to talk about irrelevant stuff and stuff that, we don't like to dog on things here. We like to talk about things that are positive. But there's quite a bit of controversy this week with something that got released, and the CGI looks really bad in one of the moments. And they're just saying like they were sort of putting comparisons of things that use CGI like 10 years ago, and it looked a lot better. And I'm like, well, I'll do you one better because animation was better 30 years ago. That's my hot take, but it really was. I think technology has made film, it's made filmmakers lazy. Necessity breeds talent, it breeds opportunity, it makes you think outside of the box. If you look at films like John Carpenter's The Thing, Star Wars, 1933's King Kong, um, oh my gosh, Blade Runner, they didn't have the technology they had today. And I'm really glad they didn't, because those movies would be worse. So why do they look better back then when they didn't have the tech that we have today? It's crazy. And Space Jam is just covered with that. Like, you have live action people with cartoon characters. Obviously, I think the sort of the film that like really pushed the envelope in that kind of genre was Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that. What a film! What an achievement! It's an absolutely great film, first of all, but the animation behind it and the way it was made is brilliant. And I think Space Jam just takes that a big step further. I mean, you have Michael Jordan, biggest name in the 90s, I would say. Um, People sort of like to debate who's bigger, him or Michael Jackson, and I'm like, bro, I don't see anybody walking around wearing Michael Jackson shoes. Just saying. Um, so yeah, for me, he's obviously the star of the show, and I mean, being in Looney Tunes, where Looney Tunes was obviously massive. You've got Bugs Bunny on a poster. He's always going to be the star. I think next to any actor, Bugs Bunny would be the star. But you put Michael Jordan standing next to him, and it's like, yep, okay, never mind. Oh, there it is. If you know, you know. So yeah, no, the film has aged brilliantly. It looked awesome on the big screen, and what an experience, man. I'm still buzzing. If I could make, because they're showing it twice this week. Well, they're actually, for the UK listeners, they are showing it during the week, but they're showing it at 12 o'clock. I mean, so silly. I don't know who can go to the cinema at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Obviously, if you do shift work or if you're on holiday, that's great. But for the rest of us, we're either at work or at school. So I'm not quite sure who they feel like they're going to sell those tickets to. And it's so unfortunate, because I feel like for a new audience, they should be showing it next weekend, probably not during the school week. And if you are going to show it during the school week, then show it like in the afternoon. But what do we know? Anyway, so the film was great. I still remember watching it for the first time. It's the first film I remember watching at the cinema. I'll never forget that night, man. And yeah, I spoke to my mom about that. She knows all about that, and so I'm not gonna bring it up here. But yeah, mom, love you lots. Thank you so much for that opportunity. And it took me back to that night. I was a little kid again, just looking at the screen and not knowing back then how much that athlete was going to have an impact on my life. And he did. I mean, my sister and I watched that VHS tape over and over and over and over and over. And it was really cool to have this experience with my sister again. So here we were 30 years later watching Space Jam at the cinema. This is the magic of cinema, guys. Honestly, this is what makes movies movies. They're moments frozen in time. And people say that about film itself, because it literally is. Once you make a film and you record something, like just like this recording, I mean, this is a moment that is recorded in time. It literally is. But what the audience get to experience as well. Those are moments frozen in time. I mean, I'll never forget the night Space Jam came out. Never. And just growing my love for basketball and then wanting a basketball. And, I had so many basketball hoops growing up. I mean, I would just play and play and play and play and play, and they always came off the wall. Sorry, mom. But they, just would just constantly take shot after shot after shot after shot after shot. Um, Always hitting the rim, obviously. But no, absolutely love the game of basketball, and I mean, love Michael Jordan. He's my favorite athlete of all time. There's just no one that compares to him. And if I carry on talking about that, this will become the Michael Jordan podcast. But he's on a league of his own. All the greats in golf, tennis, football, MMA. They always get called the Michael Jordan of, the Michael Jordan of. And that's sort of my closing and opening and closing statement on why he's the greatest athlete of all time. There it is right there. And I don't have to expand on that. The fact that people in other sports are being compared or being called the Michael Jordan of, let's just be honest, guys. Don't fight it. Name any other athlete that people have ever said that about, and it becomes a thing. So, just saying. It's absolutely phenomenal. I have to recommend The Last Dance on Netflix. It's about his time at the Bulls. It's not just about him, it's about the Bulls in general. It's about their double three-peat. So if people don't know what that means, they won the NBA championship 3 times in a row. Then he went on to play baseball. For people who don't know why, it's not only because he completed basketball and was too good at it. It was actually really sweet and sad at the same time. He went to go and play baseball because his dad had always wanted him to be a baseball player. His dad passed away, so the honor of his father, and I think that's so beautiful, but makes me really sad at the same time. But I'm glad he did it. It's so sweet. And then he came back, played basketball for the Bulls, and won 3 championships in a row again. I mean, dude was playing chess while everybody else didn't even know what the board was and what the pawn does and what the knight does and what the queen does. So they didn't even know what a pawn was or what a knight was. So yeah, checkers, homies couldn't even play snakes and ladders, and my guy's playing chess. So that's just Michael Jordan for you. But yeah, review of the film, 10 out of 10. It was my favorite movie growing up, and 30 years later, it's still one of my all-time favorite films. It's got to be all-time top 10. I mean, it's faultless. If you grew up loving the Looney Tunes and grew up loving Michael Jordan, it almost doesn't get bigger than that. It's crazy. I mean, you have Michael Jordan and Bugs Bunny on a poster. it's like the 2 best of both worlds. So if I seem sort of like speechless and stuff, trust me, I'm still sitting in that cinema that I was this morning, but also like I was 30 years ago. It's really, really, really surreal. And I'm just grateful to God for the opportunity that I got to see it again, that I got to see it back then. And that I went on to play basketball for many years and coach it now. And yeah, man, it's a lot to think about. So you guys are getting like a real raw sort of reaction to the whole thing, but it was just unbelievable. It was such an awesome experience, and I'm just glad it holds up well, because there's a lot of like films that I watched growing up that I've never revisited, because I'm like, I'm happy with those memories, because what if I watch them now and they're crap, or if they just have aged badly or whatever it is. So I'm fine with leaving them in the memory vault and having those awesome memories of them. But with Space Jam, it's, oh my gosh, I love it now even more than I did back then. What a film. What a film. Right, so that's that on Space Jam, because I could spend hours talking about that film and Michael Jordan. And I mean the soundtrack, like, look, say what you want, whatever, but I Believe I Can Fly, such a great song. It's a pity the singer has done the things he's done and all of that, and I get it, but the song is absolutely beautiful, and it's so awesome. And then, I mean, Seals, Fly Like an Eagle. I mean, yeah, that soundtrack, everything. It's a perfect film. Again, perfect film. There's nothing I'd change about it. There's nothing I'd add. There's anything I'd take away. I mean, obviously having Brad Bird in it, if you know, you know. Let's go Celtics. It's just so cool, man. And then like little nods, like if you know basketball, you catch on to them. If you knew about the current state of the game and stuff at that time, you'd get a lot of the references. And then things you now get as an adult that you didn't get as a child. There were a few times so I was like, oh, that was cheeky, that was cheeky. Definitely something to give the adults a giggle. But I mean, I laughed at all the things that were targeted at the children as well. I mean, the Looney Tunes is funny, man. I don't care how old you get. Tom and Jerry is the GOAT, but Looney Tunes is right up there. I love Looney Tunes. Those cartoons still hold up. I mean, you can watch them for free and stuff. Um, you guys should pop them on and see. Honestly, it still holds up. Those episodes are brilliant. So yeah, review of Space Jam, 100 jams out of 10. Slam dunks, all the things, alley oops and ones, um, 3 pointers, Kobe's, all the things. Absolutely love that film. It was incredible. Right, so that's that on that. We got quite exciting news this week. Matt Reeves has been very active on Twitter talking about the Batman Part 2. For people who don't know, Batman is my favorite fictional character. I know he's become very popular since Nolan not only changed the genre, but absolutely elevated that character. But yeah, I've been Team Batman since the animated series days. Kevin Conroy, if you know, you know. So yeah, so character very special to me, and that also means it brings a lot of sort of cautionary excitement. I love Matt Reeves. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is one of the greatest films I've ever seen. I think it's one of the greatest sequels ever made. And then, War for the Planet of the Apes was such an incredible ending to that trilogy. And then, what he did with the Batman was phenomenal. And a lot of people like to forget or sort of don't know that that film was made during COVID. So there are a lot of things in that film that people sort of like to pick out. But I mean, they did make it during COVID. So now that he won't have those restrictions, I imagine and I mean, even with those restrictions, he did so much. He arguably made the greatest Batman movie ever. I'm not saying it is, but there's an argument for it, absolutely. For me, my favorite Batman film is The Dark Knight Rises. Um, I don't want to like enforce opinions or things like that, because this is all subjective. But yeah, I think if you really know the character to his core, I struggle to see why you wouldn't enjoy that film. And I mean, if you don't, and that's totally fine. But yeah, I mean, obviously The Dark Knight is an incredible film, but Rises, The Dark Knight is a Joker film. Let's just be honest, Heath Ledger absolutely stole the show. And it does deal with a lot of Bruce Wayne and Batman, but it's definitely a film about Batman dealing with the Joker, as opposed to a film being about Batman. Rises, you obviously have Bane, incredible performance by Tom Hardy, but it's really who is Batman to his core, and if you know Deshi Basara and all that stuff that the film sort of playing with this mythology, and who's Batman, who's Bruce Wayne, is Bruce Wayne the persona, is Batman the actual person, which is Bruce Wayne is the mask, and Batman is who this person is now. that's what Rises really dug into that we hadn't seen before, and that's what I love about that film so much. And I mean, the score and the cinematography, yeah, the Rises just has an aesthetic to it that is absolutely incredible. But yeah, what Matt did with the Batman is it was fresh, it was new. Um, I think I was the only person that was happy when Pattinson was cast, sincerely. Everybody else thought I was joking when he was cast, and I was like losing it. Like I was so excited because I had seen Good Time. Um, I was a fan of his, like from just, I mean, I know it's a minor role, but in Goblet of Fire there was just something about him. Um, and then obviously, I'm not going to mention that franchise that everybody brings up. I mean, the dude has done other movies, but even in those, I feel like especially in the second one, there was just something there that I felt like this dude is far too talented to be in these films. And then you go on and you watch the Velocity of Z or the Rover, Cosmopolis. I mean, Cosmopolis is basically Bruce Wayne. Um, yeah, Robert Pattinson's one of the greatest actors already, and I mean the guy's just getting started. He's phenomenal. So I'm cautiously optimistic about the film. I just have sort of two things that really put me off. Um, and again, we don't want to be negative on this podcast, but I'm not happy with some of the casting, and I'll discuss this with Mike. Um, but yeah, that's what's kind of putting me off. I really wish it was somebody else. Um, I'm not referring to Sebastian Stan. I mean, what irritates me with that is that people, sort of casuals, are going to watch and go, oh, the Winter Soldier's in the Batman. And I'm like, guys, Sebastian Stan is a very, very talented actor. He needs to stop being in those movies now. If any of you watched A Different Man, it came out 2025. Oh my goodness, his performance in that film was unbelievable. Um, he's such a good actor. Far too talented to still be playing the Winter Soldier. He needs to get out of that Marvel contract ASAP Rocky. Um, and he needs to be doing more things like A Different Man. I mean, that performance was great. In The Apprentice, he was brilliant as well. But I mean, A Different Man, wow. I was like, okay, this is that talent that like we've been missing out on because you're like stuck in this contract. Um, so yeah, he's absolutely phenomenal, and I'm very excited to see what he's going to do with Harvey Dent. I mean, it's a character we've seen twice already. We're not going to talk too much about the first time because don't want to be negative here. I think Aaron Eckhart did an awesome job as Harvey Dent. Would have loved to have seen him show up again, but I get why Nolan didn't do that. Um, Especially with stuff Eckhart was saying after Night had come out. He didn't really help himself there. So he wasn't going to get chosen anyway. But I would have liked to see more of that. I like what Nolan did with the character, and I like what he did with the character. So really excited to see what Matt Reeves and Sebastian Stan do with Harvey Dent. And yeah, I'm really excited. It looks like the snow sort of rumors are true. We're going to a snowy Gotham. It's a pity that it's been such a long time since the first one. I don't want to sound like one of those people that want a sequel every year. I don't. I miss when sequels came out every 2-3 years because it created that hype. It created that want for it. And most importantly, it just gave people time to make a great film instead of just rushing out all the nonsense we get now. Um, so yeah, it's a pity. I wish it was originally scheduled to come out this year, if I'm not mistaken. I mean last year. Last year, yeah, 2025 was when it was originally scheduled to come out. I think 3 years is a good gap. And I mean, this one is only supposed to take place a few weeks or months after the first one. I mean, Robert Pattinson doesn't age. That's not my issue. It's just we're really gonna have to rewatch the first one before this one. Obviously, not just for obvious reasons, like to remember stuff or whatever, but actually because no time has passed. So we really need to go into this one very fresh. having the previous one very fresh in our minds. So yeah, but I mean, it's a phenomenal cast. Matt Reeves is an incredible director. Um, I reckon he's not showing his whole hand uh, at all. Never mind just his whole hand. I think he's barely showing his cards. I reckon there's still a lot of surprises in this film. The Court of Owls have been rumored for a while. Is Mr. Freeze going to show up because it is a snowy type Gotham? Only problem with Mr. Freeze is how do you make that character more realistic, less comic booky. That's my only issue because I don't. Maybe this is a hot take, but I like Batman more grounded. That's why I love the Nolan movies so much. I don't like Batman dealing with like he's got cool villains. I mean, um, Freeze. I mean, Mad Hatter. You could do realistic and grounded, but the more supernaturally type characters like Man Bat and things like that, I'm not really keen. Like Killer Croc and all that stuff. Not really keen on seeing Batman take those guys on, but like Deadshot, Deathstroke, um, yeah, I mean a lot of them could also sit here talking about Batman for hours, so not gonna do that. But yeah, I do like the grounded approach, and if Mr. Freeze does show up, I'm curious to see how Matt is going to handle that. What must not happen is everything else that's going on in DC must just leave Matt Reeves alone. That's really what I need because if the moment happens where we find out that the Batman is connected to everything else that DC is doing, I'd, I'd still watch the Batman Part 2, but I wouldn't watch anything else that Batman shows up in. So I hope Pattinson doesn't get sort of roped into that. But I don't see him doing that. He wants time to work with other directors and do other films and do other things. So yeah, he's just building up one of the best filmographies an actor can have. So he wants to continue to do his thing, and I want him to do that too. And then yeah, overall other movie news, nothing really to talk about. Yeah, it's tough talking about films these days, man. Like we thought, I mean, it's all we talk about. So let me rephrase that. It's difficult talking about new films these days. Barely went to the cinema last year. I'm barely gonna go this year. Probably won't be going for the rest of the month. I'm not keen on seeing Mortal Kombat 2. Mark gave his review last week. I didn't really enjoy that first one, and this one just doesn't appeal to me. For people who've been listening, I don't watch trailers and stuff. I did watch the trailer for this one when it came out last year, and it got all those views, and then they delayed it. It just doesn't appeal to me. It doesn't look any good, and it's just yeah, man. It's quite crazy that I'd rather go watch a 30-year-old movie than anything new that came out. Next month, however, Scary Movie 6 comes out. I'll definitely be going to see that just because those first two are great. The Wayans brothers, I miss their films, and I think they're brilliant. So I'll definitely be going to go see that next week and next month, and in a cinema, full crowd with all the laughs. It's those communal experiences that are really fun too. And then obviously July, Mark and I will start our build up toward the Odyssey. Wow. I mean, talking about Michael Jordan, the Batman, and Nolan / the Odyssey in one episode is too much for my brain. So that's that on the movie segment. Yeah, man, let us know what you're watching, guys. If there's anything new that we're sleeping on, please, like, I sincerely need new movie recommendations, because I'm just not feeling anything. I mean, I really loved The Rip, but that was on Netflix. But I mean, if there's anything on Netflix that you guys have watched, please let me know in the comments. Anything that I may have missed, because I'd love to be watching new stuff. But I find myself just ticking boxes off older movies that I'm trying to catch up on. Anyway, UFC, yeah, we're gonna react to, well, we were gonna react to 328 today. Wow. I mean, I don't really know what else to talk about except for the main event, but I will say well done to Sean Brady. What a performance. It just shows you how good Michael Morales is, because Michael Morales absolutely shut him out. And yeah, Brady was just too much. He was too much. I mean, Buckley's not an easy fight at all. But yeah, Brady's grappling is just too good, and Buckley just didn't have any answers for that. He wasn't doing enough in the stand up, got taken down, and Brady was just doing his thing. So it's going to be quite interesting to see what they do at welterweight now, because you've got Prates, Gary, and Morales. I think Islam's next fight should be Prates, and then Gary should fight Morales. That would be what I really want. I think Ian Gary versus Michael Morales would be an unbelievable fight. And then just give Carlos Prates to Islam, and then hopefully we see Tupuria and the winner of that at the end of the year. I mean, I don't want to write anyone off in MMA. Anything can happen, which is leading up to the main event. I won't write off anyone, but yeah, it's more than likely going to be Islam who wins. So I'd like to see that Tupuria fights him by the end of the year. That would be absolutely amazing. And then, yeah, the main event, Sean Strickland beating Hamza Chimaev, might be the biggest upset in the sport. Might be. I mean, wow, Sean, I don't know if you're ever going to hear this, but congratulations to you, dude. You have shocked the world twice. You beat Adesanya. I wrote you off. Most people did. Chimaev, we were saying, he's going to get fed to the dogs. He's going to get mauled. It's going to be a crime scene. And wow. I mean, your defense, those sprawls, you had Chimaev on his back for over 2 minutes. That's never happened in any of his fights before. Crazy, 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 crazy. What a main event that was. Absolutely nuts. And then I do want to end off with the Joshua Van fight. I feel like it was called off way too early. I mean, Tahir is showing all the heart in the world. If you guys don't watch MMA, please just watch highlights of that fight, or actually try watch the full fight, and you'll really get an appreciation for the sport, what these guys give. It almost makes me want to stop talking about football, if I'm being completely honest. Because what you see these guys give, and not just in the MMA, but in basketball as well. I mean, the playoffs at the moment have been absolutely nuts. If you've been watching the Pistons and Cavaliers series, wow. I mean, Game 7 tomorrow night, so that will be Sunday. That match is going to be mental, and these are guys that are giving everything. Wow. Yeah, Tahira deserved more time. I really feel like that fight was called off too soon, but congratulations to Joshua Van, and just as a brother in Christ, I'm really proud of him for what he said on stage. Please watch the interview, but basically he defended his belt, and Joe Rogan asked him, did the fight go? How's he feeling? He won the fight, this and that, and he just answered with, I'm just a nobody trying to tell everybody about somebody who saved my life, and that is Jesus Christ. So to Joshua Van, I commend you, brother. That's so awesome that you did that in front of all those people. Good for you. Only 24 years old. Being bold and proclaiming your faith. I really, really respect that more than anything. So I was really so happy as a Christian to hear that. It's like, good for you for standing up for Christ and standing up for the gospel. And I think we can all take encouragement from that. Like, if he can stand there in front of thousands of people and say it to millions of people around the world, I think any Christian listening to that can really just stand up for Christ and wave their flag. So that made me really happy. That was an awesome thing to do. And then yeah, football wise, Liverpool are trash. What else is new? My goodness, I just want the season to be over. We lost 4-2 to Aston Villa on Friday night. I think we just genuinely need the season to be over. We don't have answers at the moment. We've got nothing. So I think that's what needs to happen at my club. And then yeah, we've got Chelsea and City this weekend for the FA Cup final. I mean, I love Pep. I'm not a City fan, but I love Guardiola. So I will be rooting for City. And I really do hope that Arsenal slip up in the league just to make this title race a little bit more juicy. Um, and then yeah, and then we will start building up to the Champions League final as well. So keep coming back for that, guys. And then yeah, just again, just wanted to shout out to Serge for coming on again last week. It's always awesome having you on, bro. We'll have you on as often as you want to be on, really. So yeah, please check him out. He does a podcast called the Let's Journey Together pod. It's really inspiring, really encouraging, and I highly recommend that you listen to it. Me being into fitness and going back to my journey with Michael Jordan, you listen to these runners on his podcast, and man, they are heroes, man. They're so freaking cool, and they're so inspirational. They're so encouraging. Runners are just built different, and I love how that podcast really shines a light on a very underappreciated sport. So thanks for doing that, Serge. I know there's a lot of runners that would appreciate listening to your pod and would be inspired and encouraged by it. And yeah, guys, honestly, it's not for clicks and likes and all these things. Obviously, the likes help and stuff, but we do want more engagement just so we can start a conversation. This is not a dictatorship or, just two people sort of imposing their opinion and things like that. If you feel like you disagree with anything we say or you want to contribute, that'd be great. If I could ask anything, it would be for people just to recommend movies. Just recommend a film you've seen lately that you think is great, or something that you feel like we don't talk about, or whatever it is, and we can start a conversation. That would be absolutely amazing. So yeah, hit us up on YouTube or our socials. We're on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, X, whatever it's called. Probably change its name again tomorrow. And then yeah, we'll check you guys next week. God bless, and have a great one. See you at the cinema. See you cage side. See you on the pitch. Watch the playoffs. I know the matches are super late for our UK and South African listeners, but Sunday night, Cavs and Detroit is gonna be absolutely nuts. So please do check that out. Okay, guys. Until next time. Peace.